All right. Hey, how's it, everybody? Oh, hold on. There we go. All right. Okay. Here we have it. It is 5 p.m. West Coast time. I'm going to call it 2 p.m. Hawaii time, 8 p.m. on that there East Coast, and 7 p.m. for our Central Time folk. I am Mad Statter. This is Chatter with Statter, and it looks like we've got folks coming on in, which is good because I was a little bit late, so we had a little bit of time to gather around the masses. We got Thomas the Turtle in the house. We've got Rick and Shock, our regular mod squad. We have the traveling woman of the world, Pacola T. Also wishing everybody a happy hump day. Let's see here. It looks like Rick has subscribed for 36 months. Thank you so much, Rick, for that resub. Super stoked. And let's see here. It looks like I think I said hello to everybody who's made their presence known as of yet, but maybe not. Okay, yes, I have scrolled to the bottom. Excelente. All right, we got our usual mod squad, which makes me happy to see because Rick's been up north for the last couple bits and apparently having a great time up north, listening to the owls hoot, trying to watch the lunar eclipse, but not quite getting the best view. I heard that from a little bird named Darlene. Yes, indeedly do. And it looks like Pennell just subscribed for 32 months. Thank you so much for coming on in, Pennell. So good to see you. And Darlene, that little birdie I was speaking of, coming in and saying hello. Finally back from up north. Exactly. Yes, Shock was missing in action on Sunday, but that's okay. She was out of state doing important things and stuff. And when I say important things and stuff, I mean important things and stuff like eating the best food that Chicago has to offer at a Filipino cafe. That is right. You don't think of Filipino food when you think of Chicago, but apparently some of the best food that Chicago has to offer is from that little Filipino cafe, whose name escapes me. I do not remember, but Shock might be able to tell you. She dug on their Ono grinds. Yes, indeedly do. All right, so Uncle Mike's Place is what Shock said. So if you're in the Chicago area, Uncle Mike's Place is where you go for the good kind foods. It looks like we have a hype train already. I don't even know how that happened. So, woohoo! Hype train. We are stoked for the hype train. I don't know if that's a song or not, but it is now. And Rick confirming we're doing cabin time the last few days. Nothing to see. Nothing to see except the northern lights and a lunar eclipse from last night. I didn't even know there was a lunar eclipse last night. Wow, that's super embarrassing. Yeah. But let's see here. And then it looks like Darlene has been gifted a sub by Rick. Fantastical, masterful. And apparently it was also a big festival weekend for Mexican independence, but the Filipinos didn't get in on that because they probably have a different Independence Day from Spain. However, Mexico and the Philippines do have an awful lot in common, what with their Spanish colonizations, hence similarities in their last names. And let's see here, it looks like DJ Smook is in the house along with Mama Sean. And all right, so now that we've got all sorts of oh wait, hold on. Shock correcting my assumption. Oh heck yes, Uncle Mike's did. They had placemats that were from Mexico at the Uncle Mike's place. All right, well that makes sense. I mean, you know, getting rid of the Spanish colonizers is worth all of the colonies celebrating, even if it wasn't their particular colony. All right, so now that we're skirting on politics like we really should not be, why don't we get the party started, okay? And Shock brings up a very good point. Who passes up the chance for a party? Exactly. And I'll tell you what. Roll it up and fry it, you call it a lumpia. Wrap it up and eat it, you call it a taco. Either way, Ono grinds, no matter which cuisine you're getting. And, alrighty, so, cool. Thomas the Turtle, you're watching DJ Nick Styles on your phone. I think I've got a notification from him going live as well. In fact, I'm 90% sure I do. in Diddly Doo. And if I remember correctly, DJ Nick Styles, he's the DJ from Maui. And he is a very fun DJ to watch, without a doubt. I found him during, the COVID time. And I've definitely stuck around with subscribing to his channel as well. Since then, I mean. All right, so it looks as though the hype train is on the verge of ending, which is cool. No more pressure for things. And let's see here. I don't really know what we're going to talk about so much, but I do know that most of the stuff we're going to talk about has to do with food. Because, well, have you been to this show? There we go. And, oh look, Mama Sean talking about food. Grilling a flank steak tonight. Yummy, yum, and the yummer who yummed. Now, Mama Sean, I'm not going to ask for your secret recipe because it might be secret, but when you make a flank steak, I'm going to assume you marinate it. What type of marinade do you like with a flank steak? I am a big fan of something with lime when grilling a flank steak, but that's not the only flavor profile, obviously, that needs to be mixed in. Anyway, I'm just curious what you do with your little flanky steaks. And Shock was saying about her Chicago situation, which is very disappointing. Gotta say, meals were iffy at times. Picked up a frozen Indian dinner at the CVS because my crazy Russian buddy and his family had deep dish pizza. Yeah, deep dish pizza for people who don't eat carbs is a bit of an issue. And let's see here. Thomas the Turtle. Yes, there is a new Beetlejuice movie. One of my friends in Texas has gone and seen it, and she said it was really weird to see Winona Ryder as a 50-year-old. But I mean, like, we're all 50 now or more, so I don't really know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna go see that movie, frankly. I mean, I probably will. Actually, no, I probably won't go see it. I probably will see it eventually, but I probably won't go see it. I don't go to the movie theaters very often, but I heard it was a good movie. Have you seen it, anybody? Has anybody seen the new Beetlejuice? And actually, you don't marinate yours, Mama Sean. Oh, okay, so, but you do season it eventually, right? So, like, what do you just use salt and pepper? By the way, I'm assuming you know about Johnny's seasoning salt, right? I mean, you're from the Pacific Northwest. You know about Johnny's seasoning salt, right? For those of you who don't know about Johnny's seasoning salt, there was or is a restaurant in Fife called Johnny's. It's actually called Johnny's of Fife. And for some reason, their seasoning salt got so popular that they sell it on the open market. And it basically is the quintessential seasoning salt of the Pacific Northwest. And so if you're in a Pacific Northwest kitchen or a kitchen from someone who is from the Pacific Northwest, chances are you will see some Johnny's seasoning salt. And let's see here. Darlene, I was busy doing laundry today, unpacking, so I had a simple dinner. Brats, cut up, cucumbers, and tuna salad. That sounds yummy. I was in the mood for brats and sauerkraut the other night, but I couldn't find any brats at the grocery store, so I didn't. So I had Spam and sauerkraut because I use Spam and sauerkraut. And Mama Sean, you use Penzeys, of course, but you know of Johnny's, of course. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Penzeys, Penzeys is a spice company out of Minnesota, I think. And their spices it's a mail order company for the most part, but you can, they do have individual stores in various states. And the spices, they seem like they're a little bit more expensive than the grocery store spices. That is true. But when you get the spices from Penzeys, you'll realize, oh, you mean these little flakes of stuff actually are supposed to taste like something? Not like stale cardboard and a smell of vague herbish? Yeah, the Penzeys spices, the Penzeys spices are so flavorful, so strong. You really probably can use half as much as you would need for a store brand, or really more appropriately, you need twice as much store brand to get half as much flavor or you need twice as much store brand to even get half the flavor of Penzeys, is what I'm trying to say. Penzeys is super, super good. Super, super good. And I definitely encourage you to to check out their website. Now, they are, unfortunately or fortunately, depends on how you feel about it, they do let their political leanings show. I believe Kamala Harris went and visited one of their stores to give you an idea of their political leanings. And now, consequently, the right-wing media has decided that it's a terrible, overpriced product. So if you are a huge fan of Fox News, you possibly have heard of Penzies, and they have been talking about how horrible the product is and how overpriced the product is. I'm not going to argue. The prices do seem slightly overpriced, as I mentioned. But for the quality of the spices that you get, it's not overpriced at all. It's a very high-quality product. So I will agree a little bit with Fox News. It does seem overpriced. But it's not a terrible product. Do with that information as you will. All I can say is they have really good quality product there. There you go. And Darlene, we have multiple Penzies stores here. They have prime top herbs and spices. Cinnamon tastes like cinnamon, and same with their other spices. Picola tea, exactly. You get what you pay for. And when it comes to Penzies spices, you get high quality. However, I'm not going to, I'm gonna elaborate a little bit on what Darlene just said. They have prime top herbs and spices. Cinnamon tastes like cinnamon. That is true. And by the way, DJ Smoot, good to see you. How's it? Mama Sean, yep, main store in Minnesota, but they actually have fresh seasonings and herbs. At the store in Minnesota, they actually have fresh ones? Well, even the dried is still fresh dried. Like, I mean, their dried stuff is fresh, right? But here, right, Thomas the Turtle is coming in with exactly what I was going to say. Not only does Penzies have a high-quality product, Penzies will give you more options for a product you didn't even know there were options for. For instance, what we know as cinnamon around the generic grocery store aisles actually isn't cinnamon. It's a bark from it's cassia. It's a bark from a different tree. They're very similar, but it's not true cinnamon. So at Penzies, you have a choice between getting true, real-life Ceylon cinnamon, or there's like 3 or 4 different versions of their cinnamon that are the kasha. And so I believe that if you go to the Penzies catalog, in their cinnamon section, there's like 4 different options for cinnamon. There's the true cinnamon, a couple different ones that are different, that are what we know as cinnamon, what we get at the grocery store is cinnamon, and then they have a blend as well. So first off, just with cinnamon alone, it's like, I thought cinnamon was just cinnamon. No, dude, cinnamon is not just cinnamon. Like, you can actually have a multitude of cinnamons to choose from, and you do at Penzies. Terry in Scotland, raiding with a party of 3, coming on in. He was playing, I'm assuming, Sea of Thieves, although I'm not quite sure. It might have been American Truck Simulator today. Terry is a Twitch streamer who does video games. Super fun community that he's built. And Darlene, you sent Luke a 4-pack of seasonings. He was impressed, even if they don't do a ton of cooking. Yeah, exactly, dude. And because they're so fresh, they do last a long time in your cupboard. And so not only does Penzies have a multitude of cinnamons, did you know that there's more than one type of black peppercorn? And Penzies has got you covered. Do you want the one from India? Do you want the one from Malaysia? Do you want the one from wherever? Like, they've got you covered, dude. So if you want to be overwhelmed by options of delicious cinnamons, well then, let me just tell you right now, Penzies is where you need to go. And it looks like Katie Zora and Terry had a lot of loot to sell, which is why they're running a little bit late. That's okay. Lots of loot to sell means you probably had a pirate adventure. Cinnamons. Yes, we're talking about cinnamon. There was a time I could say the word. We are talking about cinnamon. We're trying to talk about cinnamon, if we can say it. And how this one spice store in the United States called Penzeys has multiple types of multiple types of cinnamon to choose from. From the authentic cinnamon kind to the fake cinnamon that we are all used to. I feel like I need to talk slowly if I'm going to talk about synonyms. Synonyms of synonyms. Yes, there we go. And I am going to have to scroll back up because I think I feel as though I saw something that disturbs me, and I just did. Okay, Shock, I'm so confused. We like to bring cinnamon bark to crab eyes and then simmer for 30 for a cinnamon drink. And Cola T coming in with my question, what are crab eyes? I don't understand what that means. Yeah, and Darlene's like, crab eyes, that is... To crab eyes are the teeny bubbles before rolling boil. Okay, so you're not cooking crab. Okay. Okay, I thought you were saying that you were cooking crab with cinnamon bark, and quite honestly, that sounded gross. But I needed to clarify because I couldn't allow myself to be convinced that you cooked crab with cinnamon. I get it now. I've never heard the term crab eyes for the beginning of the boil, just at the very beginning of a boil, like little bubbles. Interesting. Crab eye pie is delicious. Terry in Scotland, I think you're being facetious, but explain yourself right now. And Vietnamese cinnamon, right, all right, so, and Thomas the Turtle coming in, right. The Vietnamese cinnamon for the Cinnabon flavor, right, because the Vietnamese cinnamon is that spice I'm trying to talk about. The Vietnamese version has a little bit of a sharpness to it. It's almost spicy. The different types of cinnamon that Penzeys smell. Oh my god. I'm reading what Lady Misty just wrote, and I'm trying to talk at the same time, and it's just not working. Cloves smell as good as cinnamon. I'll let you think that, Lady Misty. I disagree, but that is okay. But cinnamon, I don't even remember anymore. We were talking about cinnamon. That's all I know. Anyway, good lord. Cinnamon. I said it. Cinnamon. And yeah, even though I don't really like cloves that much, a smidge of just enough clove in the right baking mix is definitely a nice little thing. It is, after all, one of the spices that is in the traditional pumpkin spice. Pumpkin spice, by the way, season should be happening really soon at most of the coffee shops. And yeah, Shock, you missed cinnamon toast. Crunch, butter, sugar, cinnamon, nom nom nom. Yeah, I the other night was having a cinnamon toast craving that I almost actually just because I didn't have bread, I almost just thought of eating butter, sugar, and cinnamon just straight. But I didn't. I did really think about it, though. I stood in the kitchen with a bowl and a spoon for a very long time thinking about it. And let's see here. What's a synonym for cinnamon vitamins? Vitamins? I don't What's the cinnamon? Oh, I'm not even gonna. I can't even. Mm-hmm. And yeah, Rick, totally. Cinnamon rolls with your morning coffee sounds so good. But you know what? Thomas the Turtle did say that he put cinnamon in his coffee. And Pinnell, I put cinnamon, cloves, and cardamom in your tea. So, you know, you can get a little bit of that faux Cinnabon flavor in with your coffee if you choose. And cardamom actually is a spice that we don't use in America that often, or as often as other places, and it really is that's a good little spice. And Mama Sean making roasted garlic potatoes, yum, and having a slice of coconut cream pie, because today is your birthday and you gave notice at work, retiring at the end of May. Mama Sean, that is huge news, congratulations, happy birthday. But actually even more happier is, happy putting in resignation day. Happy going on retirement day. Happy, happy, happy. Joy, joy, joy. Awesome, dude. And Darlene, absolutely. Nutmeg is another good one. You get the whole nutmeg and grate it yourself. Totally. In fact, nutmeg, once you start grating your own nutmeg, there's just no point in buying stupid pre-grated nutmeg. And so yeah, the whole nutmeg is absolutely the way you need to buy it. And you do use a bit of cardamom. It makes an interesting ice cream. Interesting. I've never had cardamom ice cream. Interesting. And Terry, you are correct. Coriander is technically an herb. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but herbs are the leaves and stems, where the spices are the roots and seeds. That's the difference between herbs and spices. And cinnamon ice cream, interesting. I've never had cinnamon ice cream. I'm sure it exists. But what I have had is Mexican chocolate ice cream, which is chocolate with cinnamon, or rather, the version I had, it was chocolate with cinnamon. The chocolate ice cream was kind of like a red-brown. And oh my God, I wish that I could remember what brand it was. It was a local brand. It was the most delicious. Cinnamon and chocolate to me is one of the best flavor combinations ever. A lot of people don't like it. But I am all about that. I am all about that. And thank you so much. They're the mods with the Sword of No Mercy. And there you go. Thomas Turtle, Ceylon cinnamon, which is the real stuff for blood thinning. Vietnamese for flavor. Chinese for general use. Think French toast. Exactly. So Thomas the Turtle is very clearly familiar with the variety of cinnamons that Penzeys has to offer. And at one point, when I had money to burn, I actually had the whole the entirety of the cinnamon options as well, because I wanted to see if they were really, did taste differently. And you know what, dude? They totally did. I mean, the difference between the cinnamons is noticeable and striking. And Darlene, I don't know why I've never thought of this, but you put a bit of cinnamon in your hot chocolate in cold weather time. How have I never thought of that? I think I want to go get some hot chocolate right now. Yep. And yeah, Mama Sean, they do use cardamom a lot in Scandinavian baking. Totally. Yeah. That's sort of where I have gotten the, that's where I eat it most, I guess, is what I'm saying. And Bacola Tea, do I remember using or making cinnamon toothpicks? Indeedly do. I do. I do. I was in 6th grade, and Mike Johnson had the desk right next to mine, and Mike Johnson brought in the cinnamon flavoring and a whole thing of toothpicks, and we were making cinnamon flavored toothpicks at our desk, and then Mike Johnson accidentally knocked over the cinnamon syrupy stuff. So then the teacher could smell all this cinnamon and came over to see what we were doing, and we apparently we weren't supposed to be doing that during school time, and it was considered bad. And so that was one of the first little bad things that that I got caught doing at school, was making the cinnamon toothpicks to distribute. I mean, we weren't charging for them, but apparently the teachers didn't like the fact that the kids had cinnamon toothpicks or something. I don't know. Anyway, that was one of my bad starts. It wasn't my first bad thing that I did. The first bad thing I did in elementary school was distribute Sudafed. I didn't know what I was doing. I don't even want... Anyway, I would have been in so much trouble if doing the things that I did in elementary school, if I got caught doing them today, I would have been on the fast track to jail. Because distributing Sudafed to other elementary school kids on the playground... I was only like 7. I didn't really understand why they made you so excitable, and so why they woke you up. I didn't know, okay? I didn't know. Yes, running a spice lab at a young age. Yeah, I just, yeah. You know, what can I, better than sneaking a jumping spider under the nun's bathroom door and running away screaming happened. Oh, no, I don't know about that. That's pretty top notch, Darlene. I like that a lot. And shucks, Sudafed, you depend on it heavily when traveling, but that stuff doesn't wake you up. Oh, interesting. I depend on Sudafed these days when I have allergies. And I think I've mentioned this before, and I'm sure any doctor in the world would just be like, don't do that. Don't ever do that again. But I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to do it until I can't do it anymore. My allergies always get cured by 1 pill of Sudafed and 1 pill of Benadryl. I call it my allergy speedball, because Benadryl makes me sleepy, Sudafed wakes me up, so it all kind of evens out in the end. And it knocks out all of my symptoms. So my allergy speedball, Benadryl, Sudafed. Maybe you shouldn't try it. And let's see here. C Honda, good to see you. Good on ya. Glad you could make it here today. And let's see here. Terry, hold on. What did you do? I was sitting in class once when I decided to take the spring out of my Papermate pen and stretch it. Suddenly, the end of the spring sank into a joint in my finger and I couldn't get it out, so I had to go to the doctor. Ow! Flying is hard on the sinuses. That's why you use it. And you used it when you had a permanent nose infection until your nose got fixed. Oh my goodness. So see, Sudafed is useful for something other than just meth. And I'm glad you were able to get things fixed, though, because that sounds kind of miserable. And, let's see here. Terry in Scotland. Then one day soon after, I moved an eraser from a pencil and put it back in. Your dad had a habit of cleaning his ears with an eraser. This time the eraser was stuck in his ear. He went to the same doctor. I'm sure that doctor had some stories around the dinner table about the Caldwell family. Yeah. Well, the son, you see, and then the father. Yeah. Good job there, Terry. That's great. I know, exactly, Darlene. It's like, that's not really funny, because that could have been a problem, but it's still pretty funny. Totally. Let's see here. Let's see. I cannot even imagine that era of Texans having foreign objects removed from their bodies. Well, honestly, I don't... Really, is it Texans that are the only ones? I mean, I swallowed a quarter when I was a kid. Oh, God, it hurt going down so bad. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, dude. Really? Only Texans? I heard of a kid who used to stick his peas up his nose. And I don't think he was from Texas. because that's where he would hide them because he didn't want to eat them. Alrighty, so let's see here. We've got a couple minutes left until, oh, okay, I see what you're saying, Shock. Not only Texans, but Texans could be interesting. Got it. I see what you're saying. Okay. Alright, so, we've got to keep a couple minutes before our Lono listening break, but we're going to have another musical interlude before that, just real quick. I'm probably going to get a little copyright strike on this, but that's okay. I don't really care. Because this video has been in my mind for the last week or so. It's so flippin' cute. I don't know if y'all are familiar with... Oh, wait, Darlene, you had to get a tiny little toy train car out of your ear. You were trying to do a magic trick and couldn't get it to reappear. Oh my god. Thomas the Turtle, foreign bodies. I was a bedside nurse. I've seen the x-rays. Right, exactly. Yeah, and sometimes it's just like, really? You fell on that? You fell on that, huh? All right then. And, all right, Shock, you're gonna bring the dog in and go upstairs. You do that. You do what you need to do, because Ellie rules the roost. And while we're gonna do that, I'm gonna do something that's probably gonna get me a copyright strike, but I don't care. Back in the late 90s, there was a little rock and roll band called Lit, and their most famous song on pop radio was My Own Worst Enemy. And basically, you know, it's a song about how he's his own worst enemy. Anyway, so that song, being 30 some odd years old now, gets a lot of covers at various and assorted clubs. This particular song was being covered by a dude at a club. And suddenly, the actual band showed up. So I want to show you how that all went down. Before I do that, though, I'm going to say, hey, how's it, Lady Tie-Dye? So, let's watch this joyous moment where this particular artist realizes that the song he's singing to the band that sang it. All right, here we go.
No, what?
sweat, man. Let's get a drink.
All right, there you go. Trail Dust coming on in for the Lono break, but this works. Don't worry, Honey Bunches, we're gonna get the Lono break on just after this, but I had a couple minutes to burn, so I figured I'd show this little video because like I said, I've been thinking of it for the past week. I shared it on my Facebook page. It just brings me so much joy to know that, or just to see this whole thing. What a wonderful coincidence that they happen to be walking by right there. Another coincidence that somebody got it on video. Such a fun moment for everyone involved, because obviously the people there recognized the band. Frankly, I would not have recognized the band. I would have had, I know that song. I sing along with that song when I hear it on the radio, but I wouldn't know that band if they came up and bit me on the nose. And so, so the fact, so all these people knew who they were, got the pictures, and then they snuck on stage with that guy. He was just clueless, super awesome. I mean, that's just a night to remember for everyone, for the band themselves, obviously, for the people that were there, and then obviously for that singer. But I can also assume that for just a quick moment, that singer's heart kind of skipped a beat and was like, oh my God, these are the real people. I don't know. I've suddenly forgotten all of the words. Oh my God. And, cause it's just like, this total utter shock. It reminds me of a time I was in San Francisco for a, benefit gig for the West Memphis 3. And, it was an all-day event, and, Jello Biafra was a performer near the end of the evening. Jello Biafra, if you don't know who he was the singer for the Dead Kennedys, an iconic punk rock band from the 70s from the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area. And so he was a singer for the Dead Kennedys. The Dead Kennedys happen to have a song called Too Drunk to F. Only it's not F, it's Too Drunk to, whiskey dick, Too Drunk to, right, that one. Anyway, so, and it's one of their more popular tunes, shall we say. So, Jello Biafra is scheduled to be a speaker, not to perform music. He's a spoken word person now. Scheduled to be a speaker late in the evening. This is at the beginning of the event. Unknown local bands are just playing short sets. It was like a 20 band lineup or whatever. So, one of the more unknown local bands was there playing, and lo and behold, they did a version of Dead Kennedys' Too Drunk to F. Only they didn't know that Jello was in the building. But everybody in the crowd knew that Jello was in the building. And eventually, as the song went on and on, everybody in the crowd started to step away from Jello just to watch Jello's response. And by the time the song was done, the audience area was basically empty, and it was singular Jello Biafra standing in front of the stage with his arms crossed, just watching the band. And the band, you could see it when they finally realized, oh, dude, the man is right in front of us. The man himself is right in front of us. And, yeah, and so, I mean, they played like pros till the end, but it was kind of funny. And Jello clapped, and he was like, good job. It was very good. But it was very much done, like, he very much was standing there to look very intimidating and judgmental, but it was a fun time. It was definitely a fun time. And yeah, Jello is such a character. Jello doesn't like me because I told his girlfriend not to smoke my weed. His girlfriend didn't smoke a lot of weed. She was from the Midwest. I knew she couldn't handle my West Coast weed. I told her not to smoke it. She insisted. She had a very bad trip. He accused me of lacing the weed. We got into an argument about it. I don't lace my weed. I told her not to smoke it. It's not my problem that your girlfriend's a lightweight. But anyway, Jello, not a fan of me. I'm a fan of him, but he's not a fan of me. All right, so now that we let's see here, hold on. Terry in Scotland. No way, Terry. Prior to his resignation, Richard Nixon drank so much he became known as Whiskey Dick. This is not widely known. I don't know if I believe you, Terry, but I really, really like that joke. I know, Darlene. If she didn't listen, then whose fault is it? Really, exactly. That was what I was trying to say. But yeah, exactly. Whatever. I mean, chances are he's probably forgotten about the argument. He probably I don't even think he's dating the chick anymore, so it's really not a big deal. But at the time, it was just like, dude, you're so flippin' paranoid. Like, I'm not drugging I guess I am drugging your girlfriend, but not with anything unknown. Like, she volunteered for the drugging. Yeah, so, all right, so we are now 1 minute past our Lono listening break time slot. And this is a Lono tune off of Old Style 1, the very first Old Style. Huelo, I think, is Huelo. I don't know exactly how to pronounce it, and I don't know what the word means. But it's a very fun tune. I enjoy this tune a lot, and so I figured we would listen to a fun Lono tune. We have not watched this yet on my stream because I just recently downloaded it off of Lono's page. You too can enjoy this particular tune anytime you want on Lono Music's YouTube page, Kaupe'epe'e. But if you don't know how to spell Kaupe'epe'e, well then by all means just YouTube search Lono Music and you will find it. Or you can just watch it right here.
Alright. Hello. Let's go. Kono e kanani, uluwe ke ike aku, e ho'i kai manao, I ka wae hui wae o kauna. E ho'i no I ka uka, I ka uka iui o huelo, I la e la no e pili ai, e ka o hulu la haole. Ke no e mai a ka ua, kili hune mai la iuka, e ho'opulu ana I ka li, lauli po o ka awapuhi. E ho'i no e ka uka, I ka uka iu o huelo, I la ela no e pili ai, me ka o hulu la haole. Howard? Jailbreak, here we go. Ke no e mai a ka ua, kili hune mai la iuka, e ho'opulu ana I ka li, lauli po ka wapuhi. E ho'i no e ka uka iui o huelo, I la ela no e pili ai, e ka o hulu la haole.
All right, there we go. We've got a Dusty in the camera. Let's see here. We've got reverb coming out of my mouth. And we've got Dusty. Owie! We've got Dusty coming here. Come here, little one. There we go. Oh no, Trail Dust, you're not good at gardening. You keep planting donut seeds, but they never sprout. That's a bummer. You know you can eat the seeds though. Totally. They're good in milk. Yeah, you can put them in a bowl with milk. All right then. He didn't like that. Let's see here. Tom's a Turtle bragging. I have several Lono CDs and some on MT3. All good stuff. And that is true. All good stuff. And for those of you who want to be purchasing a Lono album, he's got all of his stuff available for digital download. Some albums are still available on actual CD. And if you prefer a CD, when you order online, I believe if you write in the notes that you want a CD mailed and you give them your mailing address, they will do that. However, it's not going to be like a it's not going to be like a CD like this. It's going to be more like a CD that he burns for himself. He burns for you, and then you're going to get it just like, you know, it's basically going to be like a homemade burned CD. It's not going to be a fancy pants CD. Because he is sort of weaning away from physical copies of the album to just digital downloads. Lady Misty, is it more of a fee per CD? From my understanding, no. I definitely, don't quote me on that, but from my understanding, no. They eat the shipping cost. They eat the shipping cost to get. He already has the blank CDs and the CD mailers, so they eat the shipping cost, and so yeah, I think that for those of you who prefer CDs, and some of us do actually, I'm not gonna lie, I prefer having a CD myself. That always is an option. And Darlene, no, Dusty doesn't want cuddles right now. What I can tell you Dusty wants, and he's wanted it for the past like 3 hours, he wants his wet foods. But the thing is he doesn't get his wet food until 6:30 or later. And we're not at 6:30 yet. So he knows better, but he has been just he's been up on the counter where I serve the wet food. He's very adamant that he wants his wet food right now. But I'm not playing that game. He doesn't always get what he wants. I am a very well trainable human being, but I have my limits. And he's not gonna get his wet food until 6:30. Period. End of story. Okay. And that tone has nothing to do with you. I'm not trying to give you tone. I'm giving Dusty the tone. Huh. All right. So we should all feel free to pitch in an extra $5 or $6 for mailing, just saying, says Lady Tie-Dye. Well, I will tell you this. You do, if I remember correctly, on Lono's website, there is an option to donate money to him. So that's absolutely within the realm of possibility. Yes, I'm putting Dusty on notice. My tone is not directed at any of the chatterers right now. My tone is directed at my kitty. And Pinnell, Tyrene often wants her wet food 5 minutes after she refused it. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Yep, exactly. And yes, exactly. That's right, Mama. That's it. And let's see here. Pinnell, Darlene saying, I've also heard you can make a yummy pumpkin soup like a butternut scoop. A butternut squash soup. I might try that, especially coming this fall. Oh, yes, indeedly do, Darlene. One of my favorite soups is this pumpkin soup that there's this really fancy grocery store in West Seattle called Metropolitan Market, and it's just as much of a restaurant / instant food place as it is a grocery store. And they have a soup bar with like 8 or 9 soups, and during this time of year they have their pumpkin soup, and oh my goodness, dude, their pumpkin soup, it's so flippin' good. Yeah, pumpkin soup is, to me, way better than butternut squash soup. But yeah, you've got a lot of options with your pumpkins. Frankly, I'm impressed you can grow pumpkins. I could never grow. I've tried growing pumpkins, and it just does not. It just does not end up working, and I just don't know why. And is Dusty getting the sock puppet routine? Well, if he doesn't watch himself, he will be getting the naked sock puppets. That's for sure. And let's see here. The cookie at Met Market is addictive. Yeah, okay, so Picola T knows what I'm talking about. Metropolitan Market, they have several of them, and they are just, honestly, if I was rich enough, I would have them cook my meals every day. I would go like, oh, well, what am I in the mood for today? Oh, I want mac and cheese. Okay, I'm going to go get their mac and cheese. Oh, what am I in the mood for? I want quiche. I'm going to go get the quiche. What am I in the mood? I need a salad bar. Oh, do I want a pre-made salad or the salad bar? I'll have, oh, wait, it's Friday. They've got their fish and chips. Oh, their homemade potato chips with their fish and chips. Yeah, I'll eat that. And I have to stay away from the bakery section because we're not even going to talk about the bakery section. Okay, yeah, we're not. Yeah. It's a lot delicious. And Terry in Scotland coming in. Tesco has sweet potato and coconut soup that is the bomb. I'm not surprised there. Terry, because all sorts of things can be made with potatoes. In fact, it's funny you should bring up potatoes. Because I've got a little thing about potatoes. But before we talk about potatoes, yeah, Lady Tie-Dye, I don't know if it was Lady Tie-Dye. Yes, Lady Misty, Lady Tie-Dye, neither of you might know about this. So, because I get in trouble for naked butts, we've decided that we're going to have this thing called Naked Sock Puppet Theater. And so I've got Bob and I've got Lisa. Now, we know it's Bob because Bob's got a trunk, see, and Lisa doesn't. And so Lisa, she is a YouTube creator, and she is got a lot of skeletons in her closet. Bob is also a YouTube creator, and he knows about all of Lisa's skeletons. And Bob decided one day to talk about Lisa's skeletons in her closet. But Lisa was like, I don't want that information out. So then she put a copyright strike on Bob's channel. And then Bob was like, well, that's messed up because I didn't steal any of your stuff, but now I've got that removed. She's like, I know, because I wanted that stuff removed because I didn't want anybody to know about my skeletons. So that was my whole point. And Bob's like, but you lied because I wasn't copyright struck. I didn't copyright nothing. And YouTube thinks I did. And now it's on my permanent record. And Lisa's like, I don't care because all I wanted was all that information that you had off of the internet. And so, this is my naked sock puppet theater. We're not going to talk about naked sock puppets anymore. We're going to talk about potatoes. That's right. You see, sweet potatoes, they make a delicious soup with coconut cream. And, Darlene, naked sock puppet theater? What? We're 1 week away and now there's naked sock and puppet theater? Yeah, naked sock puppets. I know, it's just so completely risky. Yes, to be continued, says Lady Misty. Yes, the drama between Lisa and Bob. Because Bob has a penis, see? That's Bob's penis right here. He's naked, so you get to see his penis. I mean, anyway. But, y'all, last stream, if you were here, we talked about tater tots. And while we were talking about tater tots, we were talking about potatoes and how amazing potatoes are. And how potatoes are from the New World, but yet somehow they have become a staple almost all over the world. And so, we hypothesized some things and stuff about it, and then afterwards, as the stomach churns, says Lady Tie-Dye about the naked sock puppet theater. That's actually a cute... Notes are being taken. Oops, no, that doesn't work. As the stomach... Naked puppets. Perfect. I like this. I know, right? Please don't show Bob's behind. We don't want me to get banned again. I know, right? Yeah, we can only show frontal nudity. We can only show frontal nudity. Oh, was that from a Carol Burnett show? Got it. Well, I might have to steal from Carol Burnett. No, I'm not going to steal from Carol Burnett. She's got fancy lawyers. Is she still alive? That doesn't matter. We're talking about potatoes. Anyway, I found this little PBS clip that I stole it off the internet. And, yeah, dear God, what have you agreed to moderate here? Yes, exactly. Well, right now, Shock, you're moderating a learning thing, okay? And what you learn about potatoes, we're about to learn a little bit about potatoes, and what you learn about the potatoes just might shock you. That's right. I had to. I loved this little picture. So, we're learning about potatoes. Try not to be shocked. And here is our learning.
Did you know that over 1 billion people around the world eat potatoes? They're grown in 125 countries, and there are over 4,000 varieties? Potatoes are one of the most universal crops, appearing in cuisines on virtually every corner of the planet. So, how did the potato become a staple around the globe? The history is way more complicated than you think. Unlike other root vegetables, the potato is a starchy tuber. Think of it as a storage unit that reserves the plant's energy underground, allowing the plant to grow back each year and reproduce itself. They were first cultivated in the Andes around 8000 BCE. Pre-Hispanic civilizations relied on potatoes as a nutrient-dense food source, and over millennia, they found they could be prepared in a multitude of ways. In addition to boiling, mashing, baking, and stewing potatoes, the people of the Andes would make chuño, a naturally freeze-dried potato that would carry communities through years when crops were not as successful. In addition to being preserved for long periods of time, chuño was lightweight, making it a portable source of sustenance for Incan armies. Potatoes made their debut in Europe in the 16th century after Spanish colonists returned from South America. But it took a while before Europeans learned just how amazing potatoes really are. When they first arrived, Europeans were skeptical because they closely resembled plants from the poisonous nightshade family. It wasn't until the mid-18th century when the potato's popularity skyrocketed for a variety of reasons. First of all, potatoes are loaded with nutrients. We're talking potassium, iron, magnesium, calcium, protein, and a surprising amount of vitamin C. Great for curing scurvy, which is an illness caused by a vitamin C deficiency that killed an estimated 2 million sailors between the 16th and 18th centuries. That's why potatoes were an essential part of a sailor's diet. They're also relatively easy to grow. They can grow in a wide range of soils, they flourish in cooler climates as well as in temperate zones, they're pretty low maintenance, and they pump out prolific harvests. Just one tuber can produce 4 to 5 plants, and each of those plants has the potential to grow 3 to 4 pounds of potatoes. Potatoes were an instant hit in Ireland, where they thrived in the country's rocky terrain and cool weather. By the mid-19th century, potato harvests were so abundant, about half of Ireland's population subsisted mostly on potatoes. But in 1845, crops were nearly annihilated by a blight, turning them black and rendering them inedible. It became known as the Potato Famine, a period of food insecurity not only caused by the blight, but also by the English government whose legislation and agricultural export deals only exacerbated the problem. In other countries, citizens needed a bit more convincing to include potatoes in their diets. In Prussia, some clever rebranding by King Frederick II made potatoes all the rage. During the Austrian Wars of Succession from 1740 to 1748, Prussia was grappling with a famine. In order to help his people survive, Old Fritz tried to convince his subjects of the nutritional and economic value of potatoes, but his subjects rejected the new crop. So King Frederick II came up with a more creative marketing ploy. As the story goes, the king stationed guards around his potato fields to give the illusion that the crop was highly valued. At night, he sent the guards home, leaving them unprotected and allowing people to steal the king's potatoes. This story is still up for debate, but regardless, King Frederick II's campaign to popularize the potato worked so well, he is now referred to as Der Kartoffelkönig, or the Potato King. On the other side of the planet, the potatoes migration opens up a perspective that challenges Western assumptions about history. Radiocarbon dating on pottery suggests that the sweet potato was a staple crop in Polynesia as early as 1000 ACE. That's almost half a century earlier than when Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Linguistics gives us another clue that the Polynesians likely had contact with South America. The word for sweet potato in Quechua, the language of the indigenous people in the Andes, is kumara, which is the same word across multiple islands throughout Polynesia. We'd be very naive to think that Europeans were the only ones with the technology and the knowledge to navigate the world's oceans. The Polynesians were some of the world's most skilled sailors. They used bird migrations, ocean swells, coral reefs, the stars in the night sky, and clouds to navigate the world's largest ocean. And using their double-hulled canoes that held up to 80 people for months at a time, they populated islands that stretch over an area of about 118,000 square miles of the Pacific Ocean. This all could mean that around the same time that Leif Erikson made his way to North America, Polynesians went to South America, grabbed sweet potatoes, brought them back to their islands across the Pacific, cultivated them, and incorporated them into their culinary traditions. It's clear that the potato's pervasive practicality has made it one of the most powerful and popular vegetables on the planet. So next time you're eating Indian sag aloo, Korean gamjajun, Peruvian salchipapas, or Polish pierogies, take a moment to really appreciate the power of the potato. What's your favorite way to enjoy potatoes? Tell us in the comments.
So there you have it, Rabbit. That's the little story of the taters. So I hope that none of you were shocked by any of this information. That's right. I just really like that picture. And Thomas the Turtle, baked potato with everything. Terry in Scotland, all hail the noble spud. Yep, there you have it. And, Thomas, I don't know if baking the potato is my favorite way, because there are so many delicious ways to eat a potato, but honestly, I will say this, nothing really beats a perfectly baked potato. And when I mean perfectly baked, I mean so the skin is crispy on the outside, but the inside is all fluffy and steamy and moist and beautiful. And growing up, basically, a baked potato, it was, it's like meat, vegetable, baked potato. That was your dinner, right? And so, a baked potato for me will always hit the spot. I love baked potatoes. And Darlene, potatoes, they are yummy. We don't eat a lot of them, but it was interesting trying the different purple sweet potato. Yeah, and you said that it was different than the orange and yellow version. So I'm kind of curious, was it as sweet? Was it not as sweet? I am hoping it was not as sweet. I've been trying to convince myself to try the purple sweet potatoes, but I just haven't done it yet, basically, is what it boils down to. And they have potatoes as big as your shoe, then load them up. Yeah, there you go. And Darlene, not as sweet. Good to know. See, I think I might like that better. Not really a fan of sweet potatoes. They're too sweet. If someone, sweet potato pie is good, but sweet potato for a side dish is just too sweet for me. And Mama Sean, I totally agree. I could probably live on potatoes as well. And it is one of the hardest parts of being low carb. Yeah, I can cut bread out. I've done that. But rice, I've cut pasta out. But rice and potatoes are my biggest weak spots. Absolutely. And, right, same here as a side dish, not sweet. Yeah. Let's see here. Treadless, your country fair has a dress a potato division. So now, that could mean two different things, and I'm assuming it doesn't mean what I think it means, which is what Thomas just said. So who can come up with the best toppings, butter, sour cream, salt, pepper, cheddar cheese, jalapenos, chili, bacon, etc.? Or do they mean like Mr. Potato Head? dress the potato. Like, I'm gonna put a hat on it, and I'm gonna give it lipstick, and I'm gonna, like, what? When you say dress a potato, do you mean fix it up with fixins? Or do you mean make it look pretty? Give it a personality. So I'm not sure which one you mean. I mean, honestly, I would go to both of the competitions. So it doesn't, I guess the answer doesn't really matter, but I am just curious. Okay, it is put a costume on a potato. Okay, it's kind of what I thought, but I wasn't quite sure. And Pinnell, yes, rice is good for you the second day after being in the fridge. I know. The problem though is I really like eating rice fresh out of the rice cooker too. And as much as I try to make rice with the idea that it's gonna go in the fridge and I'm gonna use it tomorrow, some of it ends up in my tummy. It does. And Shock, I scoop out all the starch and pile in the butter, sour cream, salt, pepper, cheddar cheese, etc. Oh, and then you just eat the skin? Well, that's good too, actually. I really do enjoy the tater skin. Yes. Yeah, Darlene, dress is what Mad Setter says, different toppings, or characterize the potato like Mr. Potato Head. Yeah, Darlene, it sounds like turn it into a little tater head. Yeah. Little tater head. A little fancy pants. Got myself some earrings, and I got myself my Louboutins, and I got myself the whatever. Yeah. Oh yeah, you gotta have the green onion or the chives for sure, Thomas Turtle. And in England, apparently, and perhaps even in Scotland, perhaps it's just the UK altogether, what we call a baked potato, they refer to as a jacket potato. And my understanding for a jacket potato is they consider the baked potato to be a jacket for what you put in it. So, like, I'm gonna have a jacket potato with, chili or whatever, like you said, Thomas, chili, right? So you get your baked potato and then you put your chili in it. Although I don't know if they do that in England. I don't even know if they have chili in England. But they're called jacket potatoes in England. That much I do know. That much I do. Yeah, we call it both. Okay, yeah, there we go, says Katie. We call it both. And Terry, I don't know if you I don't know. Okay, look. This is a dressed potato competition, not a naked potato competition. This is not naked sock puppet theater. This is dressed potato theater. So that we will have no baby carrots showing. Baby carrots are not allowed to be shown. This is a family-friendly county fair event. No baby carrots are showing on the potatoes. The baby carrots must be covered. Dressed, as it were. It's a dressed potato, not a naked potato competition. Because if it was a naked potato competition, you know that big potato down the road with a full-size carrot would win. No baby carrots over there. Yeah. All right, so let's see here. We could have drag taters, absolutely. Hot dog is okay. Nope, no hot dogs neither. No hot dogs neither. This is a dressed tater. This is a dressed tater. You don't want any hot dogs showing. You don't want any hot dogs or taters showing. And the reason why you don't want any hot dogs or taters showing is this. You guys check this out. I saw this on the interwebs today, and I thought I'd share it with you just cause. Look at all of these. These right here, these are claws. And these are examples of why you don't want your hot dog hanging out. Because what if you run into a badger, or a Komodo dragon, or a snapping turtle, or a porcupine, or even a beaver? Those are all the claws at the bottom. And then we've got our tiny little coyote and raccoon claws, all of which look horribly painful. A fox claw, I don't want to get messing with the fox claw. Look at these claws, dude. And then I want you to make note on the second row from the bottom. Throw a tater on roller skates, meal on wheels. Oh, there you go. Hey, that's a good plan, dude. I wonder if you could, if dressing a tater like a roller skate would win at the fair, especially if you named it Meals on Wheels. Yeah, Tom's the turtle. Raccoons, can definitely gut a dog. And beavers mean multiplication. I don't know what that means, but I know that I don't really want to have their claw on me. But here's the deal, you guys. Okay, so the second row from the bottom. So there's the bottom row, and then there's the row right above the bottom. The claw on the very far left is a grizzly bear claw, okay? I want you to look at that grizzly bear claw for just a second. It's a dark claw. Second, it's the one furthest on, it's the biggest claw on the left on the second from bottom, right? Now, I want you to go to the top row. And the very first claw there is the harpy eagle claw. Look at the harpy eagle claw size in comparison to the grizzly bear claw size. Oh my God. Oh my God. They're almost the same size. Because this isn't, these are all literally, these are real specimens, all on a board next to each other. These are all size appropriate in comparison to one another. That harpy eagle is huge. Now, let's just read what Darlene just wrote. Darlene says, have any of you seen the claws for real on a bald eagle? Huge claws, as big as fingers, man. Right, exactly. So I want you now to go find the bald eagle claw on this particular chart. Here, let me show it to you. It's on the top row. It's the third one from the left. What? The third one from the left? That's not even the biggest one. Wait, you're telling me that that thing right there is as big as the finger of a man? Well, but what about the golden eagle? And what about the harpy eagle? And oh my God, how big is the grizzly bear claw? Yeah, that's what we're talking about right now. Oh my goodness, dude. I mean, dude. What? I can't even imagine. Harpy eagles are obviously the biggest eagles. I knew that golden eagles were bigger than bald eagles. I did not realize just how much bigger they were, or their claws are. And I don't even want to know how big a harpy eagle is in real life, because a bald eagle, when you stand next to it, is like about 3 feet tall. Its wingspan is about 6 feet wide. So, and that's the third one from the left on the top row. So that's not even the biggest one. Yeah. Yeah, that's a big boyed harpy eagle. That's a big claw. And then looking at all the tiger claws, you got the Siberian tiger, the African lion, you got the cougar, you got the jaguar. I think the jaguar is bigger than the cougar. They probably should have had those juxtaposed. The cheetah dew claw, which is a little different. Then we got the African leopard, the Russian lynx, a regular lynx, and then the bobcat. And let's see here, Terry in Scotland. I saw a video of a bald eagle catching a fish out of a lake. The eagle was flying so low that the fish pulled a worm out of the ground. Well, at least the fish was well fed before. The fish got its final meal before execution, I guess. The harpy eagle claw looks like your cat's claw. Yeah, only about 80 billion times bigger. And, yeah, exactly, Darlene. We saw a bald eagle just as we drove out of the woods up north coming home today. Beautiful birds, big birds. Cannot imagine the harpy eagle size. Yeah, me either. And in fact, I kind of feel like next stream we might have a discussion about eagles, specifically harpy eagles, and where not to find them, i.e. where you want to not be. Where you want to not be is where we're, yeah, Because I don't know where harpy eagles exist. I'm going to say Russia, because I'm just going to say that, because Russia's big, and things are big in Russia. I don't know where a harpy eagle is from, but I want to not be from there. I want to not be there at all, actually, is what I want. Yeah. But what I do know, though, is Pecola Tea probably saw some eagles on her trip, because she's up in Alaska right now, you guys. Did you know that Pukalati's in Alaska? She is. She's on a cruise ship, dudes. And here's a line for her, because she went on an offshore travel. Apparently, to get on the cruise ship from where she's at, she's got to get in line and then get on one of these tiny boats. These are the little ferry taxis that take them out to that big cruise ship. You can see one in that picture. But I don't really understand how you get from the tiny boat to the big boat. And it looks like Pukalati is here, so she might be able to explain to us how you get from that boat to that boat. Once again, that's the line. Those are the boats. And I don't understand how that works. So I'm curious. But what I also can tell you is when she was on shore, she got to eat a lot of good food. Not eagles. She was at the Moose Lodge, not the Eagle Lodge. And then she got to eat some fried halibut, and then she got to eat some Russian dumplings called pelmeni. If you're not familiar with pelmeni, you need to become familiar with pelmeni. But that's the halibut, that's the pelmeni, they're meat dumplings. That's the Moose Lodge, because they're in Sitka. That's the halibut and chips, that's also the halibut. And if I could, let's see, little tender boats pull up alongside the ship and you hop on board very carefully. All right, I still don't know if I understand that. So where do you hop on board, though? That's what I don't understand. So these are the ships, or these are the boats. That's the ship. Where do you hop on board? And hey, Verity, good to see you. Welcome in. You made it just in time to talk about food. Yes, we've been talking about food the whole time, actually. I'm sure you're shocked. I'm sure you're as shocked as this potato is. Oh, I'm so surprised. We're talking about food. But still, though, I am very curious, like, so, Pukalati, help me figure it out. Do you just, like, go to the stern of the ship and then press R to reload? Yeah, I know exactly, Terry. They go to the stern and hit R. They open a hatch. Oh, on the bottom of the deck of the ship, and it makes a small floating dock. Okay. Sea Honda also coming in lower level on ship has an opening. Okay. And then Pinnell comes in. Harpy eagles are from South America and Central America rainforest. Oh. Well, then I guess I'm closer to them than I thought I would be. I don't really know if I want to go visit South America now. I'm feeling a little bit scared. I mean, not that I think an eagle is going to come pick me up, but... I mean, I'm a big girl. But I feel like a harpy might be able to take me out. Or pick me up. Two of them probably could. And, right, Rick, a door at sea level. That sounds like a good idea. I know, right, doesn't it? But somehow, it does remain watertight in the high seas. Good to know. Yeah, exactly. What could possibly go wrong with a hatch at the water level of a huge boat like that? I'm sure nothing could ever go wrong. Yeah. And, right, exactly. I hope Boeing wasn't the designer. Oh, God. Totally. All right, you guys, so it is about 5 minutes to the bottom of the hour, and I'm thinking, hold on, yeah, I'm thinking that, that we have, I'm thinking that we've wrapped, or we should probably wrap some things up, but let's see here. Well, they have a rug by the door. Nice. And Pukalati, I try not to overthink the hatch situation. Otherwise, I'd freak out. Yes, exactly. And then, good horror movie, King Kong meet King Harpy. Yes, exactly. Absolutely. Yeah, put Mothra to shame, Harpy with those claws coming in for King Kong. Abso-smurfly. All right, you guys, so it is right around the bottom of the hour. It's a little bit early, but whatever. I think it's time to wrap stuff up. So I want to thank everyone here who who showed up telling jokes like Terry in Scotland. That's the real reason Titanic went down. Its back door just popped off, designed by Boeing. Yeah, actually designed by Boeing. And I know he meant Boeing, but actually I think we should start calling Boeing Boing, because that is what their hatches seem to do. Boing out of their little lock. Yeah. Okay, so I want to thank you guys for hanging out on this Wednesday evening where we talked about food, which shouldn't come as a shock. I want to thank all the moderators for moderating with that sword of no mercy, because we actually did need one of them. And I want to thank the subscribers and the gift subscribers. But mostly, I just want to thank y'all for coming out and saying hello and joining the chat, because we can't have a chat show unless we have chatters, which means this show is all about you guys, and I'm super stoked that we could be here one more time. I totally spaced. I told us last Sunday that today we were going to talk about our movie situation and how we're going to figure out movies. Well, you know what? We're not going to talk about that today because we're running out of time. So, if someone... I should probably write this down. If someone could remind me to talk about the movies next week on Sunday... I'm making notes. Next Sunday, 5 p.m. West Coast time, that's when we're going to see each other again. And maybe we can talk about what we're gonna do with the movies. Uh-oh. What does Bob want to do with the movies? I don't know, Lisa. What do we want to do with the movies? We need to have a discussion. Bob and Lisa agree. We all need to have a discussion about the movies. So, Naked Sock Puppet Theater says, we'll see each other laters. And yeah, 5 p.m. West Coast time on Sunday. That's where we'll be. Hope you'll be here too. Have a good one. Enjoy the cruise. Don't think about the bottom hatch cola tea, and keep sending in the pictures and videos. The videos that you sent me earlier, though, I couldn't get, so if you can try that again, I'd be super stoked. Alrighty, guys. Have a good one. We'll see each other soon. Enjoy the rest of your week. Take care. Have a good one.